Welcome back to Eat and Talk. Today we have our first episode with the lovely Miss Merritt Woods. My name is Isra.
And I'm Gilbert, and we're back with another episode of Eat and Talk with Community Comments.
Yes, so our special is going to be this season only with Community Comments, which are local minority businesses, startup brands. And we're going to start with Arway bags, or Arway today. So this is we'll show you some more, but these are some of the amazing bags that she distributes to us, and we're excited to hear more. So tell us a little bit more about you.
Well, my name is Merritt. I am Liberian. I was born in Liberia, moved to Minneapolis, or Minnesota I should say, about 20 years ago. And I went to high school here partially. And we went to the U, and then decided to leave and go to Vermont for grad school, and came back here after 10 years. Yes.
Wow. Okay, so let's just dive into it. Tell us about how you started Arway Bags.
Well, I would say it was accidental. I love fashion, so when I was in college, I did some modeling here and there to pay for some things in school. But I went to Liberia primarily to work, and I was working in the INGO sector. However, my passion is fashion, and I do love the arts. So it was a combination of those two. Part of what I did as a project, it was an economic impact project I started, was to work with artists. And how do we utilize art as a means of ensuring that people were getting back to a joyful place in their life? So we actually started off with comedy show. So I used to do a comedy called Laugh Out Loud Liberia, and I did that for quite a bit of a time. And it was great, and it actually allowed people to come out and talk about the hard issues that were occurring in the country in a fun and joyful way. But also it was interesting because it allowed individuals to talk about things that they wouldn't talk about in normal conversations because they were taboo per se. And people loved that. However, I started meeting a lot of artists, and I got into designing my bag for myself. I did the first bag. People liked it when I came overseas, and they were all like, "Where did you get this from?" And I said, "Well, I did it myself." And the artist I was working with, he also was very intertwined with young people. So the idea flourished from there is, how can we create something that was economically empowering for young people, but also at the end of the day, we can make money that will be tangible and sort of help people survive, right? Because in Liberia, we don't have the infrastructure to actually allow people to grow. When it comes to education, we have an education system that is completely depleted, and people cannot depend on that. They need to utilize their hands. They need to get into the informal sector to survive. But how do we do it in a way that is equitable, but that's also loving and fun? So when I was leaving Liberia, because my project ended in other ways, I had to find a way to ensure that whatever it is that we had started continued, and our bags developed from there.
Wow.
Yeah.
You originally started a bag in Liberia.
Oh yes, yeah. I was making this for myself and my family, my friends, and then it was just people. I saw people were interested because every time I come with a new style, they're like, "Where did you get it from? How can we get access to it?" And then the idea flourished from there. We have a goal. We have an objective at the end of the day. And that is to show young people in Liberia that, education is great, right? But we live in a very competitive world right now. And our education system is not up to par to allow you to compete with China or other countries. So where are the alternatives that you will have long term to actually earn something for you and your family? And I believe the art sector, Africa, we have a very lovely and extensive history of arts that haven't been materialized in a way that can be economically empowering and beneficial to us. And I think that this is one of the avenues. It's very small right now. By no means am I changing the Liberia, but I think the individuals that I work with and the people that we engage with, hopefully we can start from there and grow into something more.
Well,
that's the goal.
Shout out to your team.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that is a huge way to start. You are going to be changing Liberia, and you'll be changing communities here too, because that's huge.
Yeah.
Your bags are different. Like, tell us about the material that you use.
So we use cow hide. So cow hide is leather, cow leather primarily. And we source from Guinea, which is a neighboring country, and we also source from Senegal, which is not too far away from us. And may I? So if you look at this bag, for example, this is embedded with wood. So this is real wood from the forest of Liberia. The cowhide obviously is here, and then internally you have the Ankara that is embedded. And I'm not sure if you've heard of Edu fashion. I heard of this terminology a few years ago, and I wanted that to showcase in our bag. We have a huge Liberian community in Minnesota. I think we have one of the largest in the country, actually. And every time I interact with someone, they tell me, you know, I've never met a Liberian. I'm like, that's impossible. We are that's impossible. What are you talking about? So I wanted my bags to not only showcase this is from Liberia, and we can make quality materials that anyone, irrespective of who you are and where you're from, can utilize it, but also tell a story. The wood showcases that we have a forest, right? Even though it's in danger, we still have a forest that we need to maintain. When you look at all of the story that comes with this, everything is hand carved. This is the map of Liberia to identify where it comes from. Whenever you wear it, you know where it comes from. And then it also tells you about the culture, the ethnic groups that are in Liberia and how they relate to each other. So I wanted my bag to, like I said, tell a story and educate people about Liberia primarily. And, you know, also have something fun, unique, and different that they can utilize. You know, I'm a girl, so I like things that are different and, you know, ensure that not everyone have the same thing. I'm one of those crafters who tend to go under the hole to get my things, so.
I have to ask, they do look very beautiful. Do you have any bags for men?
I do. We have a unisex section, so it's the Malik section. So we have backpacks. Yes, please do.
Everyone.
Come to the store and check it out. So we have like unisex crossbody bags, and we also have backpacks that male and female can utilize.
I really want to touch base on the uniqueness. The bag tells a whole story, and I think that's something that, you know, with business, every business always has a story behind it, and the fact that you incorporate it in the bag, that is very good.
So how do you attach a story to each bag? Is it when you're creating the bag, it reminded you of something?
Exactly. So we have a collection. We have, in Liberia, we have 3 main ethnic groups. And within those ethnic groups, we have about 13 different tribes. So I picked the main tribes that are usually at the forefront of everything that we do. So we have the Loma, the Bassa, the Gola, the Kru bags, right? And every tribe has a personality as well. So the Kru are known to be very feisty. I'm a Kru, but I'm not feisty. I'm a little bit feisty, but not too much. But basically, they tend to be very outspoken and in your face. You know, they have a problem with you, they're gonna tell you, right? So we have the Kru bag, and that is made out of crocodile. We know crocodile usually are seen as very dangerous and in your face, so you want to be away from them, so that feistiness comes into play. So our crocodile bags depict that. The Bassas are usually very subtle. You know, they're very servant-based. So we have the bags with the Ankara on the front to depict that aspect of the tribe. The Loma bag are very subtle. They have the wood embedded into them, but they also have the leather that infused into them. And that tells you just about the ability of the Lomans to be very glorified to some extent. And what was the last tribe? I think I'm forgetting one, forgive me. There's one that I'm forgetting. But I will say, like, in terms of the tags, this is a bookmark. My intention is that you would take it off and use it as a bookmark. We are very supportive of education in Liberia. So we do support orphanage there. So every amount that you do pay, right, we take a percentage and give it to an orphanage in Liberia.
Come shop.
So the bookmark is meant to represent education. We're a strong advocate of education. I'm a beneficiary of education, so I will continue to advocate for it. But I just also feel that the formal education, there are alternatives to it. So
this is your story is why this one and I started even talk. So just sitting here with you, I feel so inspired, and I feel like a lot of people that are gonna watch this, I feel like inspired too. So I wanted to go back. I was looking at the text and they have names.
Yes.
So is that the school that you guys sponsor?
That is the makers.
Oh,
Yeah.
the makers
So those are the
bag.
makers of the bags.
Okay.
So for example, we have a maker that does all of the wood carving, and then we have someone who actually does the insertion of the bags and the molding of this. I only do the colors, the patterns. They do most of the work of actually getting the bag to where it is today. So you will see that little tag. Everyone started off into artistry in a different way, right? And there was a reason why they got into arts and crafts. So it just tells the customer about who they are.
This is amazing. So you guys come shop Mother's Day, come shop.
Father's Day, any day actually.
No more Gucci bag for you guys. Come shop, support.
Please do.
Do you have a favorite bag or
Oh,
a favorite
boy.
story that's entitled with the bag?
Selfishly, it has to be the crew bag.
Because you're crew.
Because I'm crew.
I love it.
So I like my crocodile bags, but I don't. It's funny because I don't usually wear bags. I have one bag that I wear. But I love the crocodile bags, and also because we don't source massively, our production is very like hands-on with farmers who farm to eat. So we're not doing mass production. So the crocodiles and iguana are not very consistent with our brand. We get them when we can and we make them when we can. So, you know.
They're unique.
Yeah, so usually when you get those, they're very unique.
Yeah.
And more than likely you probably won't get them again. So, yeah.
So just like
Yeah.
bargaining bags or whatever that is.
Yeah, but you know, more affordable because
Well,
our
that's
price
true.
point is pretty reasonable for what you get and the quality you get. So, and
Going back to a good cause. And
Yes.
There's versatility. Like you get a bookmark with it. You get a story.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many things. It's not just a bag.
no,
That's my favorite part about this.
yeah.
So what's the future for Arway? Where do you envision seeing this?
I hope that I can eventually open a factory in Liberia and train young people who I want to create a social enterprise. That's my ultimate dream. I don't know if you've heard of the story of Kiva and how it got started, but that's sort of what I would like to replicate in Liberia. Is go back, work with the people on the ground, get a lot of children involved, and sort of recycle our resources internally. And if we can do that in the next 5 to 10 years, that would be great. But ultimately, that's the goal. I want this to be a Liberian-owned business. I want to introduce other knowledge that I have acquired to people that I work with. So we're not just thinking one track. But also, I don't want to come in and say we have to do it this way, because I also know in Liberia we have our own system and we have to interject that into the new, right? In order for us to be able to compete. So ultimately, that's my goal.
Wow. So you're
Yeah.
a fashion icon, a philanthropist, an educator, so many things. That's awesome. So what piece of advice, we ask this to all of our people, what
Okay.
piece of advice would you give to someone who's looking to start their business, specifically from Africa?
Apart from it being hard and the resources being limited, I think the avenue to grow in Africa is there. Africa in general as a continent is virgin. So I think anyone can go there and excel if they are willing to work with the people on the ground.
That's true.
That's the most important thing. That collaboration has to be there and that understanding has to be there. And I think irrespective of who you are, go there and be humble.
Yeah.
Be very humble and be willing to learn from the people who you met there. Yeah.
Wow. I'm inspired, just like Gilbert said. I'm in awe right now. I'm in love with the design of the bag. They're very beautiful and the material is very nice.
So I was gonna ask, so being in the mall, how has that benefited you?
I think overall it has been it's been an amazing exposure.
Shout out to the
Shout out to MOA. I would say that. Thank you. I think it allowed me to actually even think broader, honestly. This was, I would say, it was accidental. I got into it. And getting into the mall has allowed me to see that I can do more with what I have. And I probably wouldn't have started thinking, how can I now start a factory or start this had I not been here, because there was no need, there was no demand, right? So now I'm thinking bigger and better because of my time spent here. And also I have to give shout out to everyone else in the space. Every time I talk to someone in community comments, I'm getting new ideas. So it's such a nice community to be part of, and it's so inspiring to see people who are striving like you and trying to do better for themselves and the people around them. So I have to say, without MOA, none of this would happen. We wouldn't be here. We wouldn't engage with each other. So I definitely have to say thank you to MOA.
Yeah. Big shout out to MOA.
Yes, please.
I didn't know about community comments, honestly, until we got in contact with the Mall of America, and we are so happy that they gave us this type of platform. And it's awesome, like you said, we came in here a few times to like talk to some of the business owners, and it's very inspiring to see something like this. And a lot of people have grown from it. Like we've heard a lot of success stories. We're excited to see, like, you know, where this is gonna take you.
Yeah, me too. I am. Yeah.
So I'm sure a lot of people that are watching, they're gonna want to get in touch with you. So how can they get in touch with you?
You can go to our website, www.arwaybags.com. You can also Google us. We're on Google My Business, so Arway Bags. You will find us. We're here. We have a store where we have consignment in North Carolina. So if you're out there, you can also shop there for our items. But always Instagram, Facebook, we're everywhere. We're trying to be everywhere. So Arway Bags.
We'll make sure that we put all that information in the link so people have easy access to reach out to you. So is it easier to work with you? Have people reach out to try to partner to help back in Liberia, or?
To work with me, I would say I think it's pretty easy. I mean, we're pretty accessible, and right now at this point we're open to any collaborations if there is any available out there, any support. We want to make this bigger, but I would have to say at the end of the day, I have my 9 to 5, I can survive, okay? However, the people I work with in Liberia, this is why it started, and I want to ensure that intricate part is always fed through whatever we do, no matter how big we get. And also ensuring that every item we make is made on the continent of Africa. I've gotten calls where it's like, you can go to China, you can get this. That's great, and I know I can. I don't have any interest in that. It has to be done in Africa. It has to be done in West Africa. If feasible, I will settle for other parts, but I want to maintain the production of things in Africa, and the people I work with as well.
I admire how you're staying to your roots, because a lot of us, we lose our ways when we come, you know, to this country, and we forget about our roots. So it's amazing that you're still incorporating that, either whether it's with your life or your business. So that's very important. And I hope others can get inspired by you, because, you know, especially with the youth, they're very confused. You know, from Africa, they grew up here, and it's just a lot.
It's hard.
It's very hard. So they see someone like you, they're like, okay, I can still make a difference back home even though I'm here. So that's really awesome.
It's possible, and you know, we have a lot of social issues right now. I don't even think we have enough time to talk about, you know, the issues that are going on. But yeah, I mean, being African in general is not an easy thing. You know, there's too many layers to it.
You're doing what you're doing, though. It's amazing. Like I said, stories like this that Yusra and I decided to, you know, start this platform so we can showcase this story. And just sitting down with you today and hearing you talk about the bags is just amazing. And hopefully other people can be inspired. I'm sure we'll probably team up with you sometime down the road.
I hope so.
To see if we can do something to give back to, because Yusra and I are pretty big in the community of giving back.
Okay.
So it's a start for us. So thank you.
Thank you.
Shout outs you want to give to your business partners back in Liberia?
Hey, Mamadou, how are you? Thank you so much for everything. Okay, I'm gonna go Kolokwa now. I'm sorry, guys. Hey, my brother, thank you all. We're here, we're doing it big, okay? It's just gonna take us some time, but we'll get there, okay? So thank you so much for everything you do. I appreciate you, and I hope we can keep doing what we're doing together.
Thank you so much for joining us. I know you're very busy. Everyone here is busy, so we're so happy that a lot of you guys agreed to come on this platform, and we're excited. So thank you so much.
Thank you too for having me. I appreciate you guys coming out.
Mother's Day.
Yes, Arway Bags.
So thank you.